Fossil record shows us evolution never happened, but the living things appear all of a sudden. That means they are created by Allah.
所以咧就化石嘅記錄話俾我哋聽咧，就係突然間嗰啲物種就一齊試過出現嘅，就唔係好似達爾文進化論推斷咧，係慢慢一路增多嘅。
And that is the reason why it is called Cambrian explosion, even by the evolutionists, because explosively the living things appear in the history of life. All phyta means animal groups, appeared all of a sudden appearance. They have no ancestors, no ancestral forms. They have stunning complexity. They have very complex systems, such as the eyes, the gills, or the blood circulation.
所以咧，佢呢個叫做寒武紀嘅大爆炸。咩爆炸咧？就突然間爆咗好多嘅生物出嚟，唔同嘅生物就係唔同嘅物種突然間出現。佢哋咧係冇祖先嘅，而咧佢哋亦都係非常複雜嘅，並唔係好似蒂文所講嘅由簡單慢慢演變到複雜嘅。
And Allah says in the Quran, the originator of the heavens and earth, when He decides on something, He just says to it, be, and it is. And with the word be of Allah, all the living things and the entire universe was created out of nothingness.
喺個人嘅第章117節咧，就Allah佢話咧，佢係天地萬物嘅創造者，佢決定有就有㗎啦。
And the myth called transition from water to land. According to the evolutionists, the fish decided to step onto the land one day and transform into a land animal. These are from the evolutionist sources.
大文進化論嘅假設就話咧，生物先喺個海度，然後咧慢慢進呢個陸地嗰度嘅。呢啲咧只係啲神話嚟，我哋從未曾有過一啲生物咧，本來係海裏邊嘅生物，而咧就會走咗上陸地生存嘅。
But this is such a silly claim, and it is against science, against logic, because everybody knows if you take out the fish out of the water, they will die in a few minutes. If you try this trillions of times, they will always die.
所以呢個其實係不科學嘅，好簡單就係啲魚你攞出嚟水面嘅話咧，幾分鐘佢就死㗎啦。你係咪攞多幾次之後佢就會唔死，就會變咗第二種生物咧？
Because sea animals have completely different structures, organs, than the land animals.
因為海嘅生物同咧陸地嘅生物構造係完全不一樣嘅。
For example, fish have fins. Those should turn into feet to become a land animal. Fish breathe by their gills. Those should turn into lung. Weight-carrying systems of fish is adapted to live in water. This should be adapted to live on land. The metabolisms of fish are adapted to live in water. This should be adapted to live on land. And all these systems have to change at the same time in the same animal. Of course, this is impossible.
所以你見得到就係譬如魚嘅話就係有呢個嘅龍，而咧陸上生物就有腳，魚咧就係要有鰓，同埋陸上生物就要有呢個肺嚟到呼吸等等。所以咧，如果咁多樣嘢夾埋一齊嘅時候，要由海嗰度走出嚟陸地嘅話咧，就呢啲嘅嘢要一齊嚟到適應，實際上係冇乜可能嘅。
And let's see what the evolutionists say about the original birds and original flight. Birds they have perfect aerodynamic skills that you see over here. They have feathers, they have hollow bones, they have a complete respiratory tract and metabolism from the land animals.
我哋睇下咧，達爾文點講呢個嘅雀仔嘅出現。我知道雀鳥咧就佢哋嘅飛行咧、飛翔咧就係咧。絕對咧就係要利用氣流等等，亦都咧就係佢嘅身體嘅骨骼亦都係胸等等好多樣嘢嘅配合嘅。
Let's see what evolutionists say about the original birds. They say huge dinosaurs, they transformed into the flying birds. That's what they say.
達爾文嘅進化論就話咧係由一啲恐龍慢慢因為要走動咧。一步步咧就演變成雀仔嘅。
And huge dinosaurs, these are from evolutionist textbooks. We didn't do that. they drew these illustrations, evolutionists. Huge dinosaurs, which are 12 meters long, were chasing after flies, they say, and trying to catch the fly with the front legs. And these front legs transformed into wings, and these dinosaurs started to fly.
嗱呢啲咧就係喺啲進化論嘅課本度揾出嚟嘅。佢話咧嗰隻恐龍咧就追嗰啲烏蠅嚟食，咁啊追下追下咧就要用隻前腿嚟到捉隻烏蠅啦。咁啊因為咁走嚟走去，咁嗰隻前腿咧慢慢就變成咗隻翼啦咁樣，咁所以就會識飛啦。
First of all, why did huge dinosaurs chase after the flies? They are 12 meters long and weigh tons. And second thing is, I want you to pay attention. They are trying to explain the origin of flight with an object, flies, which is already flying. So if you ask them about the origin of flight in the insects, no answer, silence.
你睇下佢就話一隻咁大嘅恐龍咧，點樣去變成識飛？呢個唔講啦，就係話佢哋想要解釋陸上嘅動物點解突然間會識飛咧？咁佢哋用一個假設就係因為佢追一啲會飛嘅東西，就係嗰啲昆蟲。咁所以其實個問題要再問啦。咁嗰啲昆蟲又點解會識飛咧？對唔住啊，進化論冇答案。
And this is such an illogical and unscientific claim. And in fact, we have the fossil evidence. The fossil evidence tells us Allah created the dinosaurs as dinosaurs, Allah created birds as birds, and Allah created insects, flies as flies. There is nothing in between.
所以咧就大明嘅進化論咧就冇辦法咧就解釋得到呢點。但係咧喺化石嗰度咧提供一個好清楚嘅答案，就係安拉佢創造呢個嘅恐龍就恐龍，飛鳥就飛鳥，昆蟲就昆蟲。
And in fact, for example, the insects, the flies, have a perfect flying ability. In 1 second, this is 1 second, they can beat their wings 1,000 times a second. 1,000 times a second they can beat their wings. And they appear all of a sudden and fully formed in this fossil record.
啲昆蟲咧，你睇到嗰隻翼咧，你1秒鐘之內咧，佢可以拍1000下嘅，你有幾巴閉咧？咁你就係喺我哋嗰個嘅化石記錄度咧，昆蟲一出現就出現㗎啦。
And I want to show you some living fossils. We have 350 million of these fossils. For example, this is a flying fish. The flying fish fossil here is 95 million years old, and today's flying fish is exactly the same. So Allah created flying fish as flying fish 95 million years ago. It has never changed, thus never evolved. Or in an insect, 125 million years old, it is exactly the same of today's insects. So it has never changed, it means never evolved.
呢啲咧就叫活化石。你見到咧，中間個飛魚咧就係9000幾萬年歷史嘅，同今日嘅飛魚咧有一啲分別都冇嘅。仲有下邊呢一個嘅昆蟲咧，過1年亦都一樣冇改變到㗎。
And for example, this is a crocodile fossil, which is 100 million years old. And today's crocodile is exactly the same. So Allah created crocodile as crocodile 100 million years ago. It has never changed, means never evolved.
所以咧右邊呢個圖咧就係呢個過億年前嘅呢個鱷魚嘅化石嚟，左邊呢個咧就係今日活生生嘅鱷魚。你見到兩者係冇分別嘅，過咗1億年，鱷魚都冇改變到。
Or plants. We have millions of these plant fossils. This is a ginkgo tree leaf fossil, 250 million years old. It is exactly the same today's ginkgo tree leaf. That means ginkgo tree leaf was created as ginkgo tree leaf 250 million years ago, and it has never changed, never evolved. Or sassafras leaf, 54 million years old, and this is today's sample. No change for 54 million years, means no evolution, of course.
你見到啲植物嗰啲葉咧，你都係一樣嘅。左邊呢個咧2億5000萬年，右邊呢個就5000萬年。你見到咧嗰啲嘅葉同今日嘅活生生嘅葉咧，嗰個形態係一樣嘅，即係話過咗幾億年或者幾千萬年都冇改變到嘅。
And the tale of evolution of man. Now you see that kind of illustrations everywhere, in newspapers, in the magazines, in the school books, but they are all fake. Because that kind of creatures, half ape, half man, never lived in the past.
你見到呢啲嘅人猿嘅公仔啊，好多時候喺啲雜誌啊，甚至課本度都見到嘅。但係呢啲冚唪唥都係虛構嘅，從來呢啲生物都未曾出現過喺呢個地球上。
Now, the myth of human evolution. According to the evolutionists, apes evolved into the human beings over millions of periods. So according to their claim, half ape, half man creatures lived in the past.
呢個咧就係呢個人進化嘅一個神話，就係由一個猿猴度慢慢咧變成咗人，一步一步咁樣轉變嘅。
But what they do is, there are 6,000 ape species lived throughout the history. So only 120 of them are alive. So what they do is, they take the skeletal fractures, skull fossils of extinct ape species and put in an order from smaller to larger one, and they try to represent this as the evolution of man. But Allah created apes as apes, humans as humans.
喺地球上咧有大概6000多種嘅人種出現過，而大概而家有百幾種嘅人種咧，仲喺地球生存緊。咁咧進化論者咧就將嗰啲嘅已經絕咗種嘅呢啲嘅化石嘅人均咧，就於是咧就係順住大小嚟去排列，咁咧就係咧就講成就係佢哋進化出嚟嘅。